Hello everyone, back tuning in to the 5th update for the Glastonbury Festival. So we've done 4 updates so far, and we've been a mixed bag. We haven't really had a trend yet, and it's only a week away. The second update, of course, by far the best. It was a real classic, lots of high pressure, very warm, if not hot, and dry throughout the period. And then the third and fourth updates, I've seen a bit of a deterioration to something more changeable. Not a washout, but something a little bit more changeable showing up for the third and fourth updates. We'll see what the fifth update has to say in a moment, see whether we've got a trend yet or not. Before I get on with that, if I just say about the ads at this website, there's links right across all of the pages. If you have a browse through the widgets and click through the links, you'll be helping to pay for the website. It's the ads that allow me to have the website, so thanks very much for doing that. So we'll start off on Wednesday the 22nd of June, so it's only a few days away now. I know a lot of you will be travelling down to Glastonbury on this day to set up your tents and start soak up the atmosphere. But it's a very complicated weather pattern that we've got here. We've got high pressure across many central parts of Europe and low pressure out to the north and west of Scotland. This high pressure across Europe is starting to push up some very hot air out of the Mediterranean. We call this a Spanish plume. There's a plume of hot air moving out of the Med and heading towards us. Now, this can bring very high temperatures, but it can also bring thunderstorms. But whether this just glides to the east of us, actually we don't get this Spanish plume, it's very uncertain. But this is a little bit different, quite a lot different actually, already to what we was looking at this point on the fourth update. So we still don't actually have a trend. It's a week away now. And we still have, well, this is just on Wednesday, but we still don't have a trend for this general period. The models really are struggling with it. I've been doing these Glastonbury updates for, I think this is the 4th year, and I've never known a year as uncertain as this. It's a very difficult year to predict for this year's Glastonbury Festival. So that's the broad picture that we see on Wednesday the 26th of June. Let's have a look at the actual weather. And we can now start thinking a little bit about trying to put some detail in to the weather for these pre-Glastonbury days, because it's just into the reliable time, what should be the reliable time frame of the model. So there's all that hot air that's across Spain and France. We call this a Spanish plume. It's trying to push northwards towards us, but the low pressure to the north of Scotland is trying to maintain cooler air from off the Atlantic. The upper air temperature is actually quite warm for England and Wales, and particularly so, of course, down in Glastonbury. So this precipitation forecast for Wednesday, we've got risk of some showers across parts of northern England, and they become more widespread through the course of Wednesday afternoon. So this is showing the risk of some quite heavy showers heading up through the channel towards Glastonbury, but it's a little bit too far away to pin that kind of detail down. But it does suggest a risk, perhaps, of some heavy thundery showers around on Wednesday afternoon. I wouldn't necessarily say that those showers will impact Glastonbury. It could well be that you get a dry and pretty warm day. Temperatures into the low to be 20 Celsius, this is suggesting 22 or 23, could possibly increase that to 25. 25 is 77 Fahrenheit. Look how hot it is down across France, and that is trying to push northwards. Now on Thursday, so this is another day when a lot of you will be travelling down to Glastonbury, we find, this is very different to the fourth update, we find a Spanish plume is developing a thundery area of low pressure from France and pushing it up towards the UK. Very different to what the fourth update was showing. Upper air temperatures are turning quite hot down in the south and southeast of the country, but they're still cooler in the north and the west. That's probably heavy thunderstorms across eastern parts of England during the course of Thursday. It could be persistent thundery rain, but I would suspect that's probably thunderstorms. And just the risk of storms in the south and the east during the course of Thursday. This is the day of referendum, of course, so if this is right, there could be some big showers of thunderstorms. But I did the weekend forecast earlier on, and this is very different even to that update that we had this morning. So much unreliability within the models at the moment. It really is hard to decipher all that much, I have to say, at the moment. This is called Cape and Lifted, where you've got the vibrant colours. It's telling you where you've got the risk of lightning and thunder. And you see that for England and Wales, anyway, there is a risk of lightning and thunder on Thursday. Temperatures could be hot in the southeast, possibly up to 27 or 28 degrees Celsius into the 80s Fahrenheit. For Glastonbury out towards the west, it's a little bit cooler and fresher there. And generally, the storm risk is more to the east of Glastonbury. I have to say that on Thursday. We go through to Friday, and that thundery trough is shifting into the continent. This is day one of the Glastonbury Festival, of course, as a ridge is trying to build in from off the Atlantic, and some cooler air is pushing back down from the north. The upper air temperatures show that Spanish plume, with the hot air being moved to the east of us in towards the Low Countries and Germany, as this cooler air comes down from the north and the northwest. There's still a risk of rain. This is probably persistent thundery rain now across eastern parts of England on Friday. Not much down towards Glastonbury, you have to say. It's mainly towards the east and the southeast, it appears. But it's an ever-changing scenario, but it's mainly towards the east and southeast that we've got the risk of those thunderstorms and thundery rain Thursday and Friday. Temperatures have turned a lot cooler and fresher, where we've got that persistent rain in the east. It's just 14 or 15 degrees. For Glastonbury, it's around 19 or 20, but it would be a fresher feel as the heat, the Spanish plume, is pushed into Germany. And then we go through to day two of the Glastonbury Festival, Saturday, 25th of June, a week away, and we bring down this cooler air from the north. The flow is still relatively unstable, so it may not be completely dry. The upper air temperatures do look a lot cooler, and this is still suggesting risk of thundery rain here across parts of England and Wales. This is closer to Glastonbury, but I wouldn't worry about that at this point. It's still a week away. That kind of detail is still highly uncertain. In fact, all of this, I think, is subject to change, because I don't think the model yet has this period from the middle of the week through to next weekend. I don't think the model has this pinned down. Temperatures look abysmal where we've got that persistent rain. Otherwise, it's just generally cool at around 16 or 17 or 18 degrees Celsius. And then finally, we go through to the final day of Glastonbury, the Sunday the 26th of June, and we're in this northwesterly flow, which could be showery. Upper air temperatures look quite cool. It does look drier, and the temperatures around 19 or 20 degrees down towards Glastonbury, something like that. That looks like the possibly the most pleasant day out of all this. Again, notice how hot it is across most of Eastern Europe, up to 35 degrees there in Poland, and it's not impossible that not to that level, but it's not impossible that we could get some very hot temperatures at the end of this coming week. But it's very, very uncertain, this. And as I say, I've been doing these updates for 4 years. I've never known a year like this that is as uncertain at this point. We should be firming up on what's going to happen, and we aren't there yet. We've got to do more updates, I think, before we get the final pattern. What we can say from tonight's update is that it's different to the last update, so no train still. And overall, it looks fairly dry for Glastonbury, taking this run at face value, because most of the thunder and the rain tends to be to the south and the east of the country. There is a risk of some very hot air pushing out of France and Spain as well, but it could just glide to the east. But I'm sorry I can't be more definitive for you at this point, because I know you would, of course, like to be getting this pinned down, but I can only suggest that you come back. We're going to do another update tomorrow. We're doubling up this weekend, so there'll be another Glastonbury update tomorrow. Come back for that, for the latest instalment. We will get there before much longer. We will have our forecast for the Glastonbury Festival, but I don't think we're quite there yet. I still don't think the model has this entirely sorted out. Pre-Glastonbury may be showery, but probably more towards the east, so not all that concerned about that. And then the actual Glastonbury period itself, I think it's still quite uncertain. Sorry I can't be more definitive at this stage. Come back tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.